Hello, it's Imogen. I'm back here with Shay Seaborne, trauma awareness educator, to finish our discussion around um, resources and resilience. And today we're going to focus on outer resources. What are they and how do we find them? So, welcome back. Let's talk about what do we mean by outer resources? Let's start there.
Outer resources are anything that can support us, especially during difficult times or periods. These would include financial and material things, food and shelter, our environment, a sense of safety, stability, and in particular, people and relationships.
So it's things from outside of us that support our
Well-being,
well-being.
yes.
Yeah. Yeah. So how do we find all these things? Where do we find them?
Well, some of them we can't really talk about finding the financial material and all that, but we can talk about creating circles of kindness around us through mindful choosing of who we interact with and bring into our lives. Um, as you noted before, 4 or 5 people is that you feel really good about having in your life is a nice number. Plenty of resources for anybody, um, uh, and the the relationships need to be integrative, meaning they help us become more whole by the way that we're treated, by the energy and information flow in that. So that would be the focus on the affective component of communication, how it makes us feel inside,
Do I
rather
feel
than
good
the.
in this person's presence? And then when you're
Yeah.
talking about that kind of inner circle of close friends, do I feel good and safe? Do I feel like I can be myself,
Mm.
that I can share whatever I'm feeling right now if I
Mhm.
want to, that it will be received, as you said, with kindness and understanding and not kind of removal or jumping in to try and control everything for you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, those relationships are disintegrative.
Yeah. So
It's normal to have some clashing in a relationship. In fact, when there's a rupture in the relationship and then a repair, meaning both sides work together to resolve the issue with respect and mutuality, then the bond becomes actually even stronger.
yeah, the thing to watch for is if it keeps getting ruptured quickly and over again, I
Yes, or
guess.
if there's
Yes.
no repair.
Well, for sure, for sure. Um, yeah, so attunement again seems to be an important word here. Say a
Mhm.
little bit more about that.
That's attunement is the ability to recognize the other person's internal state and show them empathy um, and even pick up on some of their internal state. Um, Dr. Dan Siegel talks about empathy and uh, uh, empathy burnout, and he says there's no such thing as empathy burnout. There's only boundaries that need to be shored up. So
Mm-hmm.
when we give empathy, we need to consider that this is me over here, and that's the other person. And what I'm feeling inside me is not their distress or their feelings. This is my response to their distress. And sometimes
Sure.
it's uncomfortable.
Mm-hmm.
And if we understand what's happening, we can ride the discomfort and give the compassionate witnessing without being distorted ourselves. And that again can help strengthen the bond,
Uh,
and it's beneficial for both.
and I think that actually really brings back, because we wanted to bring back inner resources and outer resources and how they work together. If you have the inner resources, as we talked about in more detail in the last video, that's the things that you know how to do to look after yourself, in the moment, then that will help you with the attunement, the compassionate witnessing, the being with someone going through something difficult without getting caught into it, or and activated as well, or whatever the thing is. I help you not just remove yourself. It really can help you be with that other person, present for them, but without kind of taking on. You can have a sense of their distress, and that knowing that that's your response, but you can't know what it's like to be in that other person's situation and body, and nor does we don't want that for anyone, right? But it helps you to stay and be with each other.
Yeah, just feeling a tiny bit of what they're feeling is all they really need. Just a little drop of being felt makes a tremendous difference.
Any other examples you want to talk about? We also want to bring this idea of how the inner and outer come together a little bit more.
Well, there are a lot of things that people can do together that that are integrative and build our internal resources, such as dancing, drumming, singing together, making music together, things that bring us into sync through our activities. When we dance together, we actually resonate it. Our heartbeat synchronizes, and that's one of the reasons dancing together feels so good to us. These activities are very common in traditional cultures, and they've withstood the test of millennia because they integrate us and make us pro-social and help us connect and feel safe together.
I'm thinking of laughter too, laughing together.
Yes.
We've watched silly movies together.
Yes.
It's
and then there are the practices like we do sometimes in the forest when we're out on our walks. We'll stop and do some practices together, and it really does feel like there's some kind of synergistic effect. The practices are very powerful to do alone. They're more powerful to do together, and something about doing it outside too, being in nature and having awareness that's part of the practice be of the trees and the water and the sky and the birds rather than the things in our house. And doing that with you in the forest is just such a really resourceful practice.
I'm thinking how it, any one of those things is helpful. Just being in the forest on your own, got the sky, the trees, the bird song, the water. That's really nice and helpful, right? Going for a walk with a friend who you feel comfortable with, you've got that co-regulation, that attunement going on. That's nice. Doing a practice, like you say, and this, we're talking about things that we teach in our Foundations of Regulation course and our ongoing groups, but ways of moving and attending and using our thinking, just simply that help us be more regulated. And then we're putting that all together. It's just super potent.
Yes.
Yeah.
There's so many things that we can do. We just need to listen to our bodies about which ones are really good for us and do more of that, lots more of that.
So on that note, I think that's one of the things, despite our groups being online, that we really get from it being a small group rather than just one-on-one. You get more co-regulation as we're all learning and practicing together, and we have this kind of common goal of kind of looking after ourselves and looking out for each other, and we can be with the other people, sometimes telling about quite difficult things that are happening to them, or even if we don't know what's going on, we can have a sense, there's no requirement for anyone to tell us anything, and yes, it somehow becomes a safe space. sometimes for that to happen.
Yeah, and there's a
So
lot of empathy and attunement in the class as well. And
yeah,
so we get experience with that. And then we know what it feels like physically in our bodies to be witnessed and attuned, and then outside in the larger world.
yes. So I was slightly losing Shay then, but we're just coming to the end of our video. I think you got the main gist. So that was I think, the last in our little series on resources and resilience. But if you have any questions or comments about it, we'd love to hear from you. And if you have a further topic for us, do let us know, or question. All right. Okay. Thanks. Bye.